Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigerverse. It's Niger once again, and this is going to be another tier list. So, if you remember, late last year, we did the WWE Championships. Yes, but of course, it's a new year, and it's Saturday. You know what that means. It's time to look at the AEW Championships again. So, previously, back in 2023, I looked at the AEW Championships to that point. But, in the interim, we had gotten some not only some new championships but some new designs. So will we get at new rankings for the established championships, and where will the new championships rank? Find all that out and more in this one. But of course, we have our championships here as per usual. But then we also have per usual our tiers. We have the all elite tier, meaning it's very top tier, very good, very solid championship, very beautiful, prestigious, good looking championship. You get the idea. Then we have eight. Then we have A, meaning very solid, maybe not the top tier, but still very, very fantastic. Then B tier is kind of the middle ground, not great, but not necessarily horrible, just kind of good or okay. Serves its purpose, does what it needs to do. Then we have C tier, which is it's kind of like almost at the bottom, middle ground, if you will. One or two things keeping it from the bottom, but it's not the absolute worst. No. The absolute worst go into not elite, meaning terrible championship. It's not elite in the slightest. So, without further ado, let's hop right into it. So, starting first with the AEW World Championship. Now, the AEW World Championship, you talk about love at first sight. I and several other people, when they first announced, unveiled, held what have you, the AEW World Championship, absolutely fell in love with the championship. It is a beautiful championship. It's nice and big. It reminds you of the championships of old. It's adorned with a lot of jewels, the gold and the silver. Thankfully, it's to a point where it's not overpowering for once, which is very, very impressive. And it's got the nice big black strap, and it's currently sitting in a briefcase held by, well, technically Maria Shafir, but the world champion is Jon Moxley. He, of course, the leader of the Death Riders. So, with that being said, fantastic championship in my honest opinion, and at least in terms of look. We're just going based off look. We're not going based off quality of reigns and stuff like that. But anyway, this is our first all elite tier, and admittedly, there's admittedly this one's gonna get filled up. The other ones I think are gonna get filled up as well, but this one especially is gonna get filled up. But starting off with the World Championship all elite tier, it is fantastic. Next up, though, is the Triple B version, the big Burberry belt held by one man and one man alone, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and the championship he was carrying around while he was AEW World Champion and getting a custom championship. Now, this championship, like this version of the AEW World Championship, in terms of custom championships, it's actually pretty solid. Like, we've seen the best and the worst of custom championships. This one is pretty good, though. But my only thing is, and it's something I had mentioned before, but it bears repeating. I think I mentioned this as well in the last tier list. How I wish the strap was different. Like they went with a darker brown for the strap here, which I never understood because MJF and the Burberry scarf has always been a lighter brown. With the Burberry. Right now, he's rocking the gray because they're quote unquote new character. But you see here, he has the lighter brown, more brown on the lighter side of things. That's a very small image of MJF. There we go. So you can see it's lighter brown with the different stuff going on and the different the different plaid, if you will. In a way, it's Burberry plaid, what have you, whatever. But this one, you can see he is a lot darker of a brown. You almost can't tell. I feel like maybe it's just me, maybe it's my eyesight and everything, but you almost can't tell what it's supposed to be, which is a real shame because as like a title like that, like with the lighter brown, I think it would have worked so much better. It's still pretty good. Like I said, I'd say probably on the better end of custom championship. If you disagree, that's completely fine. But because these are all my opinions, if you disagree with any of these, that's completely fine. So while that does keep it from all elite tier, I will at least put it in A tier. It's still really, really solid. And would you believe that's not even the last custom championship we're gonna get from MJF? But stay tuned for that. But next up, we have the original Women's World Championship. Yeah, there's a reason they don't use this title anymore. I remember when this championship was first unveiled, and it pretty much had the opposite effect of the World Championship. Everybody hated this design, and it's understandable. This title is ugly. Like, I kind of get what they're going for. It's supposed to be an homage to a lot of the old school titles, a lot of the older titles, because a lot of the older titles looked like this. It's very small, very oval shaped, with like centerpiece stuff like that. And having like the stars throughout and the gold and silver, I think. I understand where they're coming from, but it is not appealing to the eye at all. It's not quite Universal Championship levels of eyesore, but it's pretty bad. So this title is not elite at all in the slightest. But you know what might be elite in terms of tiers is the current Women's World Championship. This title is a huge step up from this title. This title actually looks really good. But it's got the nice big center plate. It's got the globes both in the center and on the sides there. I do like kind of the pattern throughout. Kind of reminds me of like the pattern on the World Heavyweight Championship. It's got the AEW logo. It says Women's World Wrestling Champion. And yeah, this is a really good looking title. Do I think it's top tier? I don't know, but compared to the other one, it is way better. So I will at least put it in A there. Very, very fantastic looking title. But next up is the TBS Championship, which I forgot. Forgot to mention. I'm going to be mentioning who's holding each title. So the Women's World Championship is currently held by the Glamour Mariah May, but the TBS Championship is held by the CEO Mercedes Moné. And the TBS Championship, pretty much, obviously, the women's version of the TNT Championship, but that's not a bad thing. I do like how it has kind of the core design of the TNT Championship, and we're gonna get to that, but it has the core essence, for the most part, of the TNT Championship, if just with kind of a blue centerpiece, and try to go crazy overboard. And I've said it plenty of times on the channel, and it bears repeating, sometimes less is more. Or in this case, them not wanting to go crazy over the top with it, keeping it kind of similar to the TNT Championship, just obviously with things swapped around. I think a very smart move. So, because of that, the TBS Championship, while I don't think it's top tier, I will still at least give it a B. Yeah, so the TBS Championship is going to go in B. But next up, the first of many, yes, TNT Championship. They're strap in. There are a lot of them. I'm starting with the original, the one introduced and then won by the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. This, the early days of the TNT Championship, in terms of look, obviously quality defenses, Cody as champion, that's a totally different story. But in terms of look, yeah, this was some rough times, some hard times, if you will, for the TNT Championship in terms of look. Like having all that silver and the black lettering, and at least they had the black lettering for TNT there, and the red banner. It's just I think the designs throughout and the fact that it's not overpoweringly red like the Universal Championship is what saves it from being as bad as the Universal Championship. It looks like a bigger version of like the Raw Tag Team titles. So because of that, I'm not gonna put it in not elite tier, but this early design was pretty rough. So because of that, it is going to go in C tier. C is probably the best I can give it. It is a little bit rough of that title design. But next up is the Golden Red TNT Championship. The one introduced by Mr. Brody Lee when he won it from Cody. And this one is better, but still not great. Having the gold hold to kind of balance things out, kind of take some of the edge off, I think is nice, and the way they integrate it with the silver, I think is nice as well. But to kind of make it less of an eyesore, but it's still not amazing. But it's okay. So I think I'll be generous and give it a B here. Yeah, so I'll give it a B at least. It's a step up, but not by much. But next up is the Miro's TNT Championship, obviously held by the Redeemer Miro. And his contract, I know, is still up in the air for AEW. Like some people speculating that he's left already. Some saying he asked for his release. I think the report did come out that he asked for his release. Some saying they're releasing him. Some saying, and so a few different things. But nevertheless, this championship not great either. This one, and I get it. Like it has this kind of the colors of like the Bulgarian flag. It's got the white with the white strap and then the green banner, and then a little touch of red there on the side pieces. But it's still not the best looking thing, unfortunately. Especially because while it's not like eyes bleeding and eyesore like the red is, it still looks really not great. So unfortunately, because of that, this one, unfortunately, I love you, Miro. But this one has got to go in. Yeah, I gotta put it in C. I'm sorry, Miro. Oh, this one is sorry, Miro. This one's a game over. But in terms of the custom championship, like I think if I don't know. I don't know. If they kept like the red strap, do I think it would have been better? I don't know. Well, honestly, that's probably why I'm not in the business of making custom championships. I just judge them on the internet. But yeah. But next up is the Scorpio Sky TNT Championship, the Lakers Championship. If I wish Scorpio Sky got a little more time as TNT Champion, or got like one continuous run instead of having it be interrupted by kind of ping ponging between himself and Sammy Guevara. But this one is it's solid. It's got the Lakers colors, obviously with the yellow and the purple, and you can see like the interior of the strap is purple. So it's got that there. It's got the gold. It's got the silver. It's still not amazing, but it's better than this one, and it's way better than this one. But I still think it's just like a B. Yeah. So I think it's gonna go in B. Next up though is the encrusted TNT Championship. This one on this picture looks like it's a replica of it, but you kind of see the design. And compared to the other ones, much better. And I do like how they kept this core design. I mean, it's not the design they quite use nowadays, but I do like how they kept the core or design of this with like the gold and with like the gold, the silver, but also the red, but then also the black strap. I think the black strap is much better than this one, and the fact that we kind of have essences of this. It's pretty much similar to this one, except with the black strap. So still not. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So again, still not quite amazing, but it's a step up at least. You're getting there. Or AEW, you're getting warmer. Or so this one I'll also put in B, the encrusted one, and then. And next up is the one that they more commonly use, that being the mirrored plate version. Now, the encrusted version, I believe, was introduced by Sammy Guevara, if I'm not mistaken, and while he was TNT champion. And then the mirrored plate, I believe, was introduced while Darby Allin was TNT champion. And if I do have that wrong, please let me know in the comments. I think I have them flipped. I think this one was introduced by. No, I think this one was introduced by Sammy Guevara, if I'm not mistaken, and then I think this one was introduced once Darby Allin became TNT champion, and I might have them flipped. I feel like I might have them flipped, where this one was Darby and then this one was Sammy. But nevertheless, this version I do. I know some people do prefer the encrusted version. Me, I prefer kind of the mirrored plate version, only because it looks a little less weird. And having this as your standard championship, this is the championship they primarily use. It's currently being held by Daniel Garcia. This one is a. I do like how it keeps the essence of this one, except it's now much better, or a little bit better, obviously, with the mirror plate and them keeping the core design. So I don't necessarily want to put it in A, but it will at least go in B. He is definitely better than its counterparts. But next up, the last of the TNT Championships, that's the last custom design as well. That being the Jack Perry version, the scapegoat title, if you will. Having the championship be primarily black, with the red sprayed on there. I think that's supposed to symbolize blood, but I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. I will say it is the best out of the custom championships, but that's not really saying much. I still think I like the design. The design, I think, is kind of cool, but otherwise, is still just kind of okay. Like having it black and then having the red give it kind of like that pop in a way. By doing less, again, kind of less is more, or I think works for it. But otherwise, I think it's still just a B. But next up, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Now, surprisingly, out of all the championships, barring like maybe one or two, who I should say, out of like all the like the OG championships, like the TNT Championship or like the Women's Championship, and stuff like that, kind of gets the idea. The Tag Team Championships are the only ones, to my knowledge, that haven't really changed design, unless I missed when it did change design, in which case, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know about that. But after these ones, these look really good. But I like the design. I kind of like a big, decent sized design. Kind of reminds you like the old school championships of old, but in a good way, unlike the original Women's Championship. So this one, I am going to put in mm, yeah, I'm gonna put it in B. I think I'm gonna put it in B. I'm tempted to put in A, but I think I'll leave it in B. But then next up we have the World Trios Championships. The these things. Oh, didn't want to do that. I accidentally clicked in excitement because man, you talk about love at first sight. Hey, like these titles, are phenomenal. I remember like first time looking at these when they were introduced, it was in being I don't want to say enamored, but really impressed with the design. I mean, kind of keeping in the vein of like the tag team championships, but also looking almost like the world, almost like a world championship. I do like how they went with more of the circular design, and so that I think works out well for it. So because of that, these ones are going to go in not necessarily all elite tier, but they are at least going to go in A tier there. Still really good championships. But next up, we have the acclaimed versions. Now, excuse me. Now, first of all, Malachi Black might be on his way out of AEW. That's a crazy thing about. But also, I'm surprised out of all the trios championships, the acclaimed were the first to get the custom championship treatment in over House of Black, especially because House of Black held them for a while, and they even had the house rules for the titles, and considering like one of a lot of people's favorite reigns with the trios championships, it's surprising that House of Black didn't get like a spookified version of like the trios championships. That is a little surprising to me. But as for these ones, I know reception to this is kind of split. A lot of people like this design. A lot of people hate it. I think it's okay. It definitely plays into the gimmick. It's got like these scissors on the side for the straps, and of course it says scissor me daddy ass, and then you obviously put them together so it fits that with the pink strap as well. So I think it comes across in the gimmick like it fits the gimmick, but did not want to do that. But I think I will give it a B. I think they're just like okay, like I get but I also get why people don't really like it. Next up though is the All Atlantic / International Championship. I decided to just combine the two because it's pretty much the exact same design, just as one, and pretty much the only difference is one says All Atlantic and one says International. As for this championship design, it is phenomenal. It's got the designs throughout. It's got the different flags for different countries. It is a really good championship. It's nice and big, nice and bulky. It's kind of got the boxy design, but it doesn't look too big and clunky. It is just a really fantastic looking championship. Yep. So, it is going to go in all elite tier. It's going to join the World Championship in that tier. It is a really good looking championship, in my opinion. But next up, we have the American Championship held by MJF during his time as international champion. And this one, a lot of people don't like this one, and it's understandable why. But there are a lot of people who like it as well, and that I also see. So reception is kind of split. For me, like I definitely get it. It's supposed to. It's obviously to fit the gimmick. It's supposed to look as obnoxious as possible, and it definitely does that. But when you really look at it, it's actually not bad. Like it's got the American flag designed throughout in the strap. It's got the blue and the red. It's got the United States in the center, and it's got the American Championship lettering, and it's got the side plates for MJF. So, in terms of a custom championship, it's actually pretty solid. It's still it's not at the top of the top, but it's still really good in my opinion. So I will give that an A. Actually, But then next up we have of the FTW Championship. Depending on whether you're a Hook fan or a Chris Jericho fan, it either stands for F the World or For the World. Well, but of course, the FTW Championship retired in 2024. Or also forgot to mention the current champions, international champions Konosuke Takeshita, and the trios champions are the Death Riders, and the World Tag Team champions are Private Party. But FTW Championship retired last year. They retired the title, and honestly, I know a lot of people were upset by that, but it's kind of understandable. I do feel like, especially after the Jericho feud, the FTW Championship had kind of run its course a little bit. Like it gave Hook something to do at least, but yeah, it's understandable why they retired it. But as for the championship, I'm kind of carrying over for the most part its design in ECW. Apparently, it did have a different alternate design. And when I do the ECW Championships tier list, if I do the ECW Championships tier list, I will include that alternate design. But this one I do like the strap. It's got that. It's got that. It's got the FTW lettering there, and it's got the lettering there. It's got the centerpiece. It's got a fair amount of orange, but not enough to be overpowering. Like the black, I think really balances it out. But otherwise, this one, I think I'm gonna put this one in B tier. Yep. So it's gonna go in B tier there. But next up, we have the Continental Championship. In my opinion, currently held by the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. And in terms of championships, this is a really good looking one. I like the strap design. It's got the designs throughout. It's got the feathering in a way. Hey, I think it's supposed to be like feathers. There's kind of detail. It's got the crown in the center. I do like the jewels in the crown and everything. It's got the globe. So this is a really solid looking championship. So this one is going to go in. I think I'm gonna put this one in A. Championship. There we go. But yeah, a really good looking championship in my opinion. Excuse me. But next up, we have the men's and women's Owen Hart Memorial Championships. The reason I'm gonna kind of talk about them at the same time is because they're pretty much the same. Just difference is the color of the strap. Have this one is black with the pink hearts, and then this one is pink with the black hearts. But as for this, while it is nice what they're doing with the Owen Hart Foundation and everything, and I try to be as objective as possible. But that being said, I actually don't hate this design. And it's got the centerpiece. It's got, I believe those are supposed to be flowers. It's got the images of Owen Hart there on the sides and in the center. It's got the American flag. It's got the Canadian flag. And it looks like it has the year there because that says 2022. These are pretty solid, I think. So I think I'm gonna put them both in. I'm gonna put them both in B. So the men's and women's are going to go in B there. Next up is the let's finish putting there. Next up is the original OG Dynamite Diamond Ring. And this one is really good. But it's got the black. It's got the jewels, the studs there, if you will. It's got the gold there. Very, very nice, very beautiful looking ring, in my opinion. So this one's going to go in A. However, last but certainly not least, we have the second version of the Diamond Ring, both held by the same guy, the guy who won 6 years in a row. 6-time Diamond Ring holder is MJF. At this point, with him winning it 6 times in a row, why do you still bother having it every year? But nevertheless, this one is beautiful. This is one of the rare instances where I think the more focus more on the gold really helps out the ring even more. Or like this one looks really good, but this one it's got the gold, it's got the jewels. I do like how it's a little bit bulkier than this one. And yeah, this one is really fantastic. Both look really good, but this one's really solid. This one is going to go in all elite tier. Her really good looking championship in my opinion. So there you go. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. To recap, in all elite tier, we have the World Championship, we have the International / All Atlantic Championship, and we have the second Diamond ring. In A tier, we have the World. We have the Triple B version of the World Championship. We have the Women's World Championship. We have the World Trios Championship. We have the American Championship. We have the Continental Championship, and we have the OG Diamond ring. In B tier, we have the TBS Championship, the Golden Red Scorpio Sky Encrusted Mirror Plate and Jack Perry versions of the TNT Championships. We have the World Tag Team Championships. We have the acclaimed version of the World Trios Championships. We have the FTW Championship, and we have both the Owen Hart Memorial Championships, both the men's and women's. In C tier, we have the original TNT Championship and the mirror version of the TNT Championship, and the original Women's World Championship is not elite, not in the slightest. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the tier list, my rankings. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and also let me know what is your favorite AEW championship. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.